Nothing says summer like grilling, and one of my favorite things to do are to grill sliders because it's so much fun with the kids. You can kind of make them any way you want, and you can have them different every single week and they never get old. And so let's talk just a little bit though. When you go to the grocery store and you're looking to buy which ground beef, there are a lot of different options. There's all kinds of branded products as well as the fat content in each different type of beef. And so it's all beef, it's all safe. It's just personal preference on how much fat content you want in your burger. There's some advantages and disadvantages. If we take a look at these three different slider patties that I've patted out, this one over here is actually ground round, and it comes from the back part of the animal. It is super lean. It's 95% lean, only 5% fat. This is a great, if you're really looking for a lean beef, this is definitely the product you want to go with. If you go with this product, however, since it only has 5% fat, we have to add some type of binder to kind of help hold that little burger together. With sliders, it's not so hard, but if you're going to make a real big patty, you're probably going to need some breadcrumbs in there just to kind of hold everything together, because that's one of the things that the fat does for the hamburger, is it's to hold it together and really bind it. Now this here is 80-20 ground beef, and so this is ground chuck, and so it actually comes from more of the front of the animal. Still a very lean product, but it's just not as lean as your 95.5. It costs more money to buy the 95.5, so if you're on a budget and you need something a little bit more economical, you might want to go with one of these two. Now this one is 73-27 ground beef, so obviously you can even tell in this ground beef that it's a little less red, and it's because it has more fat in this particular bit of ground beef. It's really going to cook up, but it's going to shrink. This hamburger patty, the way you make it is basically going to be the way it comes out, because you're not going to have all that shrink to it. Now this patty on the grill, you'll have to watch it because it will shrink up, and you might have some grease flares because there's going to be a lot more fat that drips down into your grill. This is going to give you a nice juicy burger, and it's just really personal preference on which one you like the best. Now if you're going to make spaghetti or tacos or anything like that, and you still want to make it affordable but less fat content, you can buy the 73-27. After you cook it and drain all the grease off of it, run warm to hot water over those ground beef crumbles, and you basically get the product just like you would if you bought the 95.5. And so it's a great way. It won't work in hamburger patties or sliders, but if you're using it for any other type of recipe, you can buy the more economical ground beef, run some hot water over it after you've drained the grease off, and it'll give you the exact same product as the 95.5. So great tip and be able to save some money. But making sliders are so fun. You make the patty. One of the things that we don't want to do is we don't want to really overwork our meat. We make it really dense, and a lot of times it won't cook evenly because some areas will be harder than others. And so we want to incorporate our ingredients, our special seasonings or ingredients that we want to add to our sliders, but we really just don't want to overwork that meat. We want to get it into a nice ball and then flatten it out and go ahead and slide that on our grill. We want to get it to 165 degrees. Use your thermometer. A dried out burger, you really need to add a lot of mustard and ketchup to, but if you cook it perfectly, grill it to 165 degrees, you're going to still have a nice juicy hamburger that you can even eat plain. But today we're going to dress it up, take it up a notch. This really speaks to summertime and grilling, and so we're going to move over here and talk a little bit about how to put together this recipe. Right now we have 1 pound, and I went with the medium. I went with the 80-20 so that we wouldn't have to add the binder, but we would still get a nice juicy burger. So I have 80-20 ground beef here, 1 pound, and we're going to take some Worcestershire sauce and we're going to add 4 teaspoons of that, and we're really going to incorporate that into our hamburger. Now I love the way the flavor that brings out into the beef, so if you add a little extra, it's not a problem. And so we want to mix and incorporate that well, and then we want to pat out our patties. 1 pound of ground beef, it says that the recipe says it'll make 12, but I must like my ground beef patties a little bit larger because I only made about 8. And so once you get that all mixed up, pat it out, grill it 165. We take those Hawaiian rolls that you can buy in the store and go ahead and slice them open. We take some smoked Gouda cheese. It is so good with this combination. Smoked Gouda cheese, place that on there, and we have some sauce. And the way you make this sauce is 1/4 of a cup of barbecue sauce, 1/4 of a cup of pineapple preserves, and this is hard to find sometimes. This usually is in with the ice cream toppings, some pineapple preserves. It's usually not with the jams and jellies in the grocery store. But I have found it so hard to find sometimes, and I love this recipe that when pineapple's on sale, there's a great recipe. You can make your own pineapple preserve. So either way you can do that. I have some of my homemade pineapple preserves here. So 1/4 of a cup of barbecue sauce, 1/4 of a cup of pineapple preserves, and 1 tablespoon of brown sugar. And I've heated that over the stove just so the sugar melts into it, and we have a nice little sauce here. And so we want to put that on the top of our slider. And then I've grilled some canned pineapple. You can also use fresh pineapple. I just love the way the grill marks look on this pineapple and these slices. So you put your little slider on there, your burger, you put your grilled pineapple, and then you top it with that great sauce. Now, they're a little bit messy, but I promise they're definitely gonna be worth it. They're my kids' favorite sliders because the Gouda cheese and the pineapple, it just creates a really great experience for you to enjoy. And so they're super easy. We have the recipe. We'll show it to you. You can call the extension office and get that. The Kentucky Beef Council actually highlighted this as one of their favorite slider recipes. So get creative. Guacamole, beer cheese, anything that you can put on a slider that you can have every week, because you want to make sure that beef, it's what's for your dinner.